Hi, you guys. Nice to see you. This is Richard Sachs. This is Lost Arts Radio Live, the safe stream version. And for those of you that may not know about it, this has come down to a really short, just few minute version that we put on the official YouTube channel so that we don't lose it and show that we have really benefited from being re-educated and censored and punished and put on timeout and whatever else they want to call it. With our unacceptable thoughts and presentations, and we certainly wouldn't want to do that again. So this is to keep the channel alive with safe things that could never bother or offend anybody and would show total worship of the terms of service and community guidelines, which I hope everybody appreciates. And sometimes what we're actually saying, to know what we're talking about, takes a little bit of depth and, I mean, not much, but some sophistication. We've had some people saying, what, you're saying all these good people are really terrible and everything. And no, guys, that's not actually what we're saying. We're trying to keep the channel open until everybody figures out to go to lostartsradio.com and see where we're still fully allowed to be on the internet, which there are some places. So lostartsradio.com, you can figure that out. But today, the main show was somewhat acceptable. I mean, not very, but compared to some of them, it was. And at least there's some parts of it that we can put on this abbreviated version too. And I know that the title that you saw on this one was, what kind of dream are you having? That sounds pretty non-threatening, right? But the dream that we were referring to is what most people call real life. You know, you probably heard of it. It means what's actually happening to your physical body and in the world around you and that sort of thing. And we're referring to that as a dream. And it reminds me that in a Beatles song, I think it was on Abbey Road, if I'm not mistaken, you guys can correct me, there was a line in a medley they sang that said, once there was a way to get back homeward, and once there was a way to get back home, and there was and still is. But they're talking about waking up from a dream because, in a way, and this kind of stuff doesn't fit into words very well, so you have to forgive me if it is not clear meaning, but really we never left. It's just when you go to bed at night and you get in a dream, you think you're in the dream world, and you're actually at home in bed. It's kind of like that. And the dream state that people call real life, you don't necessarily have to wait until it's over and you wake up from the particular episode of the dream that you're in. I think in the world they call that dying. It's kind of a weird term. It's like you're gone, and I mean, you don't exist anymore, and the worms eat you, and various lovely visions like that. That's not what really happens. You're just fine. Well, you're not necessarily fine if you've spent your life trying to figure out how to deceive and destroy planets and all the life on them. That sets up an uncomfortable future. But for regular people, a lot of them, especially this time of the age that we're living in, a lot of them feel a lot better when they what's called die. I just think it's a really unfortunate term, but I understand it. But what I wanted to mention, and a lot of other people have talked about, is that you don't have to wait for that to be awake even in the dream. There are people who've done that and done some really great things while they were here. It's called lucid dreaming if you want to compare it to the terminology for regular dreams. And it means you're in the dream and you can decide what you want to do and you can alter the dream. It's you can have awareness of what's around you in the dream, especially now since some of it is pretty unpleasant. And without really contaminating yourself or ruining your own emotional and energy state. You can be aware of what's going on. And a lot of people who are looking around and noticing what's going on now, even if they realize it's a dream, it's pretty real. I mean, it's experienced as real life, so we have to take it seriously and respect it for what it is. It's basically, for the majority of people right now, it's some degree of nightmare, and we've gotten used to it, so a lot of people don't call it a nightmare consciously anymore. But when you really analyze what it is and what people are going through in the world right now, and other life forms too, nightmare is a pretty generous term, actually. So if we wake up in it, then we become editors of the dream, and we can change the script. And it sounds like a bunch of nonsense until you find out, wait a minute, there's actually truth in that ridiculous observation. It may actually be what's happening. If you wake up in it, anybody can do it. So it could be you. I hope it's you. I want someone to do it. Many of us are working on it. And it's not as out of the ordinary or out of the realm of reality as it may sound. When you start to change the script in your dream, an interesting thing that happens as a side effect is that not only does it make you feel better, the other characters in your dream, each of which has the same ability that we do, they feel better too, and they don't even have to know what's going on. So this is just a real, short, as I said, couple-minute brief excerpt from the main show, which you're certainly invited to watch as well if you want to. Main job in this lifetime for all of us, if you want to boil it down to simplicity, change the dream, because it's going to take too long for us to do one little detail at a time. Time's going by in this dream really fast. And if we change the dream, everything changes. And you don't do it as a little ego-based, silly person who can't understand enough even to change little bits of their own life. You have the intent to do it, and you open to do it, and you stop. You learn to work with your mind, which is the source of all the obstructions in your own dream. And you get those out of the way. And then spirit or God or whatever you want to call that reality that the religion's trying to talk about, that flows through you and starts to harmonize everything. This sounds like nothing, and it's not nothing. Whoever removes the blocks, it flows through. So as a final thought, it reminds me from my earlier martial arts involvement that started in the 60s. There was a saying from a famous Shotokan karate master, and he said, laugh in the dojo, that's the training room that you go for classes. That's the school. Laugh in the dojo, cry on the battlefield, because you didn't take your training seriously. Or laugh or cry in the dojo because you're working hard and really doing your exercise and learning your skill. And laugh on the battlefield because you're strong. And it's the same where we are here. We cry in the nightmare. It doesn't get any better. But if we do the work to heal it, the dream can change. So you look at what kind of dream you're having now. What kind of dream would you like to have? It's all totally changeable. And as long as you think it's in somebody else's hands, you have no say in how it changes. You think it's in your hands. To the degree that you realize that, you have total power. And everybody else would appreciate you're getting that awareness too, because that would help them immediately. We're all connected. So I just wanted to suggest that, and I know it may sound totally crazy and impractical and escapist, and it's not any of those things at all. But you're not going to know unless you actually try it. So that's my suggestion to all of us. I mean, myself just as much as any of you. But you personally can be the one who tips it in the other direction. It's not as set as it looks, and the PowerPoint that's hidden to change the projection is inside you. It's not a belief. I mean, beliefs aren't going to do it. You've got to actually do the work in the dojo that we're in your current dream. And there are ways to do that. So just a little bit of a safe stream excerpt from the main show. And that one is not safe to put in safe stream. So I want to warn you about it. But there's a link to it below this video for those who want or brave enough to see it. And for everybody who wants to know where it can be viewed, just go to lostartsradio.com, and all the places where we're still allowed to be on the air will be there with links for you. So anyway, that's about as long as I wanted to go on this. I think that's safe to say. And you can take it either as a silly little interlude or diversion, or realize that there's something behind it. And what looks like reality may not be exactly what it looks like. And what our rulers are hoping that we don't realize, there's a lot of external secrets in what they're doing, and they want us to go along with a lot of things out of fear. But by far the biggest secret is who you actually are and your power over the dream. It looks real, but when you start changing it, the characters go with your changes. So think about it if you want to. And I'll look forward to seeing you soon. Hope you have a good rest of the weekend. And thanks for coming to the Safe Stream version. You're welcome to the other main show if you want to go there through the link or lostartsradio.com. Thank you. Take care of yourself. You're an important asset to the world right now. And if you want to help somebody else or everybody else, the most generous thing you can do, take care of yourself, get yourself in good shape, and everything else follows. So anyway, I could say more, but I'll save it for the main show. See you in a few minutes if you want to go there, or I'll see you in a week. Oh, and remember, this is a Saturday live show. We've got a Sunday guest show that is more and more spectacular with incredible people visiting. And there's one tomorrow that I think you'll like. So anyway, just wanted to let you know. And have a good week, and I'll see you here next time. Take it easy.